Phoenix here. Good morning, everybody. What's happening? One and all, a merry Wednesday to you. Good morning. Buenos dias. Right. Well, good morning. We got the owl behind me. Owl's well that ends well. Owlsley. Sorry about yesterday's show that got cut off as I was just getting ready to get into some material that was a little weird. I'm going to pick back up on it. Today's theme, or the theme for today's show, is strange love. And yesterday I was talking about this age gap love experience where older dudes get to go off and run around with 15, 16-year-old girls. It seems as though a lot of the social permissions around love and sex and gratification are being removed. The shackles, theoretical shackles of intimacy are being removed. There's kind of this interesting subculture in England where women who are grannies, they're grandmothers, they go to Gambia, and they get to hang out with young Gambian men. Basically pay for stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's like a scene. So apparently older English men get younger English women, and older English women get young Gambian males. A satisfying experience. So here we go. All right. And we're back in the chain gang. Back in Studio A. All right. Here we go. I know I keep cutting out. I'm sorry. I apologize. Here we go. We're back. We are close to the source. We are connected to the source. Whenever we don't get connected to the source, we wind up having issues with our connection, right? So here I am, back in lovely Studio A. So let me just tell you what I've done to try to, liberate myself. I like this place, don't get me wrong. But what I've done is I went out and I bought these, how do I say it? They're like boosters. It's a product that Netgear has where you actually plug in a transmitter to the router. And that sends a signal to another transmitter or receiver, and then you Ethernet right into that receiver. And then once that happens, you take the Ethernet cable and plug it into your computer, so you're supposed to be able to have high quality streaming with this product, right? But everything is way behind right now in terms of the lag time, the show, the whole 9 yards. So over on the 15-minute side, you're probably catching me in the closest approximation of being live. Yes, here we go. I know, I'm back. No cutting out now. That's kind of way worse than yesterday. How about now? Now? Question mark. Now. There we go. Everybody's happy, or should be. This is how the New World Order will get us. They'll just continue to make our ability to use the internet worse and worse and confine us. Yeah. So it's all about location. There we go. Fester, going to be sick. Better. Subtitles would help. No doubt. Okay. Yeah. So again, I'm going to get into things here. But again, how this works is I send a signal to Boxcast. Boxcast sends a signal to two areas. It splits. It goes from Boxcast to my webpage, and then Boxcast to YouTube. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. All right, we're here. Welcome to the show. Let's go back to this wonderful graphic. Hold on, there it is. Age gap love. Accused of normalizing grooming, couple age 16 and 44. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Doesn't she look like Seven of Nine from Star Trek? Remember her? Seven of Nine? Doesn't she look like her? Doesn't that look like her kid? Seven of Nine, of course, is Jeri Ryan. And let me see if I can find Jeri Ryan's picture here. I'm not saying this is Jeri Ryan's kid, but it sure as hell looks like it. Now, what's really weird, okay? What's really, really weird is that Jeri Ryan was part of... Let me see if I can find a good picture of her. Jeri Ryan's a good-looking woman, I have to say. But she was... She was a beauty queen. She was Jack Ryan's girlfriend, wife. She was married to Jack Ryan, congressman who was a senator. He was running for senator in the state of Illinois, and their divorce proceedings became very public. Here, this is a good picture. It's too small. Hold on. Let me find the right picture of her. Here it is. How a Star Trek actress changed, this is it, changed the course of the presidency. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. She didn't come public, though. She talked about what happened with her and Jack Ryan. Let me see if I can find... Here she is. Here she is. Let me see if I... This is a good picture. Let me just throw this up there. This should be interesting. Here, let me throw you the link so you guys can see it. I'm going to throw the link in. Copy this. Throw this in here. You guys can check this out. Fester's back. There he is. There's Fester. Okay, check out. All right, so there's the link for Jeri. Looks just like her. Looks just like Jeri Ryan. Here we go. Let me throw this in there. You guys can check it out. Click on that link. So it's a very odd kind of comparison, but I do see a comparison there. Anyway, as I've mentioned before, Jeri Ryan was married to Jack Ryan, and Jack Ryan was running against Barack Obama for president, and Jack Ryan was taking Jeri to these Eyes Wide Shut parties. And basically, watching her, or trying to watch her, attempt to watch her get banged by other men and women. Apparently, Jack Ryan was a closet homosexual. And all that came out in the divorce case. As life would have it, I actually met a childhood friend of Jeri Ryan's at Jack Allen's about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. One of those moments sitting down. That's the one thing I miss about going to bars, is having random conversations with interesting people, or semi-interesting people, where I attempt to find out more interesting things about them. I do miss that. Anyway, she told me all about Jeri Ryan and Jack Ryan. So what happened was that the details of the divorce came out, and Jack Ryan had to step down in his race against Barack Obama, and that was the trampoline for him to become president. That one term as a U.S. senator, right? I mean, he was like instant coffee, just add water. So let's get back to the... anyway, she looks like her, oddly enough. So here we go. This is another picture from the Age Gap Love. Do I have this? No. How about this one? No, I guess those have gone away, unfortunately. No, they're not there. Let me go back here. So I just wanted to follow up from yesterday, since it all went away. And essentially, they're getting people to wrap their heads around pedophilia. This is what's happening. It's been happening for a while. I remember back in the 80s watching TV, and there was a news report on NAMBLA, And NAMBLA was having a meeting at a local library somewhere in the Bay Area. Might have been somewhere in San Francisco or San Mateo County or something. And they got shut down. They got shut down. They were forced to move their meeting. And I'm like, oh, well, good. It doesn't sound like a social movement that should gain any traction. Now, if they were forced to move their meeting, the city would be sued, and they'd be afraid of being considered sexist, racist, put any of the ists in there that that would apply to them. So, this was in the early 1980s, and now they're really doing their absolute best to normalize this. And the reason they want to normalize it is, and again, I stated this yesterday because we had a little bit of a glitch in the program yesterday, is the fact that they want to be able to grandfather people who have been involved in pedophilia for a long period of time, so that when the laws change, and the laws they're going to do everything in their power to change the laws and make it socially acceptable. First, it always happens on the social level. What they do is they basically destigmatize wherever it is or whatever direction they want to steer public opinion. And so the destigmatization generally will involve the normalization of the thing that they want to destigmatize. And say, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Is it? No, it's not that bad. It's not. It's okay, isn't it? Oh, see, this is. And so then what happens is that once the stigma is normalized, then it becomes institutionalized, right? That's how it works. So we're in a process now on the social engineering model where they want to take the stigma away and make it as normal as possible. That's what's happening. And so you'll see these documentaries like Age Gap Love on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix now. I know it's on the BBC. So it's like, oh my God, look at that, look at that, look at that. And, there are men in this country who are older who will look at that and they'll look at their empty house, or they'll look at their wife and their failed and broken marriage, and they'll say, my God, if this guy can get himself a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old looker, then why can't I? And he begins to look around. Well, who's available? What little chicks are in the hen house here? And it's not just obviously young girls. They'll morph it over into boys, and that would probably be like the second edition. And it might be a country that has permissive laws around boy-men love, like maybe a place like Thailand or something like that. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, they're accepting of this. Oh, he's really kind. He's really kind. Oh, look, he's a father figure, and he's a lover figure too. Oh, wow. It's like 2 in 1. See, that's where it'll head. Right? That'll be Age Gap Love 2. They introduce it at a level where you have the heterosexual handshake, and then they'll go to the next level, which will be the homosexual handshake. And then they'll lower the ages. They'll go, oh, well, 16, 15, 14. Oh, what about 13? What about 12? What about 11? And then, it gets really weird. It gets really, really weird. And so they'll try to normalize this thing so that they can destigmatize it as much as possible. That's what happened with gay marriage. I want to normalize it. We want to normalize gay marriage, make it just like everybody else. And look, if you want to spend time with somebody, you want to live with somebody, and have a same-sex arrangement, I don't care. It's up to you. It's your call. It's what it's what you choose to do. And at the same time, I'm not sure it should be institutionalized. I'm not even sure marriage should be institutionalized. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Arkansas who basically just took marriages off the table. The state has gotten out of the marriage business. Now, some people will say that, well, they've done that because they don't want to have to cater to same-sex marriages. That's quite possible, but that's fine. I don't think the state should be involved in marriage. The state shouldn't be issuing marriage licenses. because when a person does decide to get married, they're getting married to the state. They're not getting married to the other person. It's a three-way. It's a menage. And anytime you bring the state into it, it's not gonna end well. You know, you're going into a corporate bond with the state. You're having a Saturnian commitment till death do us part. Theoretically, your partner, and the state. So Arkansas has gotten out of the marriage business. So you don't. Now it's just a simple go down and you get a certificate, but it's not anything the way it was before, where the language has changed, the blood work, and all that shit has changed. So I actually think it's good. I think the state should get out of marriage, both for men and women. Now, I think that marriage is a really good thing for two people that want to commit and have a sacred bond. But once you take the state out of it, I think you're bringing it back into a more spiritual realm. That's just me. That's just me. Speaking of strange love, apparently that's sneaky Joe Biden. He's running a very, very running a high-level kind of meme-driven campaign. Who'd have thought that Joe Biden was capable of doing something like this? One of the most unoriginal thinkers I've ever seen or listened to or heard. But check out what he did. This is genius, absolute genius. Look at this. So here's the Orange Man and the lovely Melania 3000. And look at this. Look how tiny that queen is, the lizard queen. And here's Biden. He's jumping in from behind, and he's getting a little squeeze on. Look at that. That is pure genius. And look where he's got his hand. He's copping a feel. He is totally copping a feel. Whoever's advising Biden is, we want more. We want more of that Joe Biden. Photobombing the president like that, that's chutzpah. And it shows he's connected, right? Nah, that didn't happen. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you a little bit. But it's kind of funny. Don't you think? Joe Biden copping a field with the queen. What would happen if you copped a field? Man, the lizard would pop out. That's what would happen. The lizard would come out. The fangs, the blood, rip out your jugular vein. That's what would happen. You don't cop a field. You don't cop a field, the queenie. Speaking of strange love, it's a theme on today's show, strange love. Today, this whole month is LGBTQZY square 9, right? This is the theme for the month. It's LGBTQ month, Pride month, a whole month. When did this happen? When did this happen? When did Pride get a whole freaking month? By the way, I haven't noticed it here in Fredericksburg. I wonder why. Well, because every day is Pride Day in Fredericksburg. Because we're proud to be Fredericksburgians, free thinkers, every single day of the year. But I was talking with Masaki last night, and we had a nice little chat. And we both were chuckling over the fact that Pride Month happens during the month of Gemini. The only other month I think Pride Month would make sense would be February. But you can't have February because that's already been taken as Black History Month. So I guess the LGBTQ community had to settle for June and Gemini, kind of the split, the hermaphroditic split, astrologically. It suits the month. I know, astrologically it works. But a whole month, really? Really? What's next month? Next month is what, July? Oh, next month's America Month. Theoretically, right? Now we get one day. We get July 4th. That's it. But we more than make up for it on that day. Trust me. We let it all hang out. That one day is 30 days in one. We ran across a strange story, another strange story. Strange love. This is an odd one. You gotta check this out. It's very, very unusual. So this is from a website called TC. It's very, very funny. It's a site that is run by Jewish people, right? It's like a Jewish website. It's called Jewfolk. Jewfolk. It's a nice little name for a website. Let me throw this link in there. It's very funny, odd story. Here we go. Very odd story. I'll throw that in there. You guys can check that out. I got an interesting, funny graphic here. It's like strange love was mentioned on Fox News last as a new definition of pedophile. How about that? Strange love. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. See, I'm on it. I'm on it. That's me. I'm your cultural weather vane. Okay, so let me read this story. I'm going to throw up the graphic after a second. So hold on. Let me get out of here. Let me find this thing. Okay, so this is from this website. This is in Minneapolis. God help Minneapolis. It's become little Somalia, and now they're having a turf war between apparently anti-Semitic, gay, Muslim, and the rest of the community. So owner of Cheers Minneapolis LGBTQ bar called out for anti-Semitism. It's like strange love begets strange bedfellows. The anti-Semitic Facebook post of the owner of a yet-to-be-open LGBTQ bar in Uptown has caused an uproar among Minneapolis J. That's when you combine Jewish and gay, you get J-A-Y. Jewish and gay communities. It's been the Titanic today, slowly sinking more and more, said Chad Camp, the founder and director of Phone Events. Since I'm a local gay Jew who does work in the community, it was my duty to call it out. All right, you go. You go, Chad. Camp, that's with an E, has been posting screenshots of the owner's rants on his own Facebook page, just in case you don't delete it. So this is little brother in action. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's Jewish or gay or Muslim or anti-Semitic. This is what's happened now. They've set up the systems so that we can basically play Big Brother. We're policing. See, now we become our own prison wardens, and the prison cells are the internet for the most part. And now people are using the internet to basically out. This has been going on for a while now, but it's called Little Brother. So Camp has been posting these screenshots. The owner of Cheers Minneapolis. Is this a chain or something? Imad Abed, Strange Abed Fellows, has been responding to people on Facebook thread that called out his anti-Semitic postings with profanity and banning them. This guy is doubling down. He is doubling down. You've got to love this thing, man. He's not apologizing for anything. Now, I'm not supporting this. I just think it's funny. This is what he says. He says, this community is a joke. We don't want their business or support. He's opening a gay bar, and he doesn't want their support. They can take their money to the saloon and gay 90. Without this group commenting on this post, we will do big business, because you're going to get, let me just try to wrap my head around this, because you're going to get people who aren't gay and who may have a bone to pick with Israel or Jews. You're going to get those people to come into your gay bar, your Muslim, and the whole thing is just completely crazy to support you. Because I'm sure that there may be about a dozen people in Minneapolis who are gay and Jewish who will support, like, your politics. This is nuts, man. This is totally nuts. Let me read this a little more. So, without this group commenting this post, we'll do big business. And we'll be the #1 gay bar in town. Without all the stupid losers. He sounds like Trump commenting on this post. Andy Berkey could take his post and shove it up his gay ass. Heart. This group here, they are all racist, prejudiced, biased, and discriminatory. That's why they're not welcome in my bar. My bar will still be number one without them and without their money. Wow, this guy, he's not just doubling down, he is tripling down. He's not apologizing at all. I mean, you've got to kind of admire the dude's balls. I mean, he's really taking a stand, right? And I guess I don't know if he's gay or not, but clearly the guy's Muslim. He's Palestinian. Berkey late Monday shared Abed's profile on his Facebook page, as well as several screenshots of anti-Semitic posts that Abed made. Karen Moratz, the executive director of Jewish Community Action, also posted some of Abed's posts. Here, I'll show you one of his posts. This thing is bonkers, man. This is bonkers. This is what he put up. Did you know that Israel and its people must be eliminated from existence? They are like cancer. Europe got rid of this disease in World War I and II by moving this disease to Palestine. Now as Palestinians are stuck with this horrible shit until we eliminate them from existence. I'm sorry. This is funny. I have a dark sense of humor, okay? This is really funny because this guy is trying to create a gay bar. I don't know if he's gay or not, but clearly he's Palestinian. He's Arabic, probably Muslim, and he is unequivocally like doubling down, tripling down on this. Now the people probably in that part of in the world, or just in that community in general, they're probably not used to this kind of behavior. You know, they're probably used to people going, "Oh, you're right. You know, don't cut off my funding. You know, don't. I want to keep my job. This guy's got his own business. He can do whatever he wants with it, theoretically, right? You know, but people go, "Oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?" You know, this guy doesn't give a shit. All right, he doesn't give a shit. Now he might be really confused, but I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. So what are they going to do now? They're going to go next level. They're going to protest outside of his bar, and he'll get more publicity. He'll get more. So then what will happen, right? Then what will happen? Will the Christian right, will the Zionists, will the end timers show up and support the gay Jews because they believe in Israel and Israel's right to exist? I mean, this is great. I love it. I love it when stuff gets weird. And this is totally weird. It is totally weird. And I just want to continue to. I would actually love to have this guy on my show to talk to him. I'd want to get into that dude's head to find out where he's coming from. I have to read that quote again. I have to read it. It is so damn funny. So, just in case you were wondering, the bar is located at 1933 Lyndale Avenue South in the location of the former Rudolph's Barbecue. Abed's Red Star Group, LLC, was granted a liquor license in January by the Minneapolis City Council. Oh my God, this is so funny. This is what he says here. It says, when stupid average Americans realize the Jews have taken over the country, they control their Congress and Senate, and their loyalty is to the most criminal state in the world, Israel, all the free weapons and hundreds of billions of dollars given to Israel to kill the Palestinians, all those European American Israelis will send them home, back to Europe and USA. But first, we have to destroy the al-Assad family in Saudi Arabia, all 5,000 members of them. They are Zionist Jews. They are not Muslim. This is amazing. This is amazing. The owner has started a $2 million GoFundMe in order to buy the building. So he started the GoFundMe on June 21st. But it was deactivated on Monday. I'm sure he didn't deactivate it. I'm sure GoFundMe did. Instead, an event called Queers Against Cheers was created on Tuesday evening. Now, here we go to pick up the grand opening. Should it still be happening that day? Okay, so June 21st. If you're in Minneapolis, you should go there. Cheers is set to open on Friday, June 21st for TC Pride Weekend. The event information said, let's demonstrate the revolutionary spirit of Stonewall with a good old-fashioned sidewalk picket with whimsy and camp. Oh, and brass knuckles, too, by the way. we're going to show this Looney Tune what happens when you try to come into our community to make a buck while degrading us. Hell to the no. Steve Hunigs, the executive director of the Jewish Community Relations Council, released a statement on Tuesday evening. Well, these people are so organized, man. A day after Professor Deborah Lipstadt gave the keynote speech at the JCRC's annual event on the rise of anti-Semitism, comes unsettling news of an unrepentant anti-Semite. The guy's Semitic. He is Semitic. Okay? Let's just try to... He is Semitic. He actually is somebody who is from that part of the world. He is Semitic. He may be anti-Jewish and anti-Israeli, but he is not anti-Semitic. For that, he'd have to hate himself. Some people may say that he might. If he's Jewish or gay, he might. Opening a purportedly LGBTQ-friendly bar in Minneapolis. While the overwhelmingly negative response to this bigot is heartening, the latest expression of hate demonstrates how quickly unhinged opposition to Israel and Zionism devolves into anti-Semitism. The bar's Facebook page was deactivated on Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you think? The reviews of the bar, which again wasn't open yet, were so low it was rated 1.1 out of 5. Nobody's been there. Might be a great bar. Never know. Call to the number of the Facebook page went to a voicemail with a different phone number listed. Phone calls were also made seeking comment from CBS Television, which owns the rights to the television show Cheers. Uh-oh. Getting the big guns out. God, that's funny. That is freaking hilarious. What do you guys think of that? What do you think of that? Isn't that funny? I think it's funny. Sticky says, Tanya can't see too well. So what the chief said was, I think, strange, still willing to off the queen. Okay, so we're behind a little bit. Your anti-fluoride campaign, the fact that they had safe fluoride to put in rat poison. So Sticky, let you know that the fluoride we get in our fluoride or in our water is hydrofluorosilicic acid, and it is different than the fluoride that they put in rat poison. Believe it or not, that's sodium fluoride, which taken in concentrated doses will kill you. You know, if you swallow a bunch of toothpaste, there is a little caveat on the toothpaste tube that basically says, call emergency. Call emergency. If you swallow this, call 911. Let's see what's going on the other side over here with our friends over at 15 Minutes. See if you guys have any comments. Judy's over there. Solar Brandon. Turning in the Unimproved Citizens. I think it's funny. The guy is named Ahmed, or like Emetic. This whole story is so freaking twisted. This is what happens when you have like special interest groups on steroids and people trying to, get their point across. We don't need your stupid stick it up your gas. I mean, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So he's created a gay bar, and he's like completely and he got a liquor license too. Now the state may revoke his liquor license. They could put pressure on the state to revoke his liquor license, and if his liquor license was revoked, he's fucked. He won't make any money. But I think this is just absolutely hilarious. Something that's not so hilarious is what's going on at Planned Parenthood. We're in the realm of strange love today still. I'm going to throw this link here. You guys may have heard this one. If you haven't, I'm going to throw that into the hopper now. Here we go. This is... Here we go. Throw this in there. There we go. I'll put it over on the 15 minutes side as well. Let me type this in. Bada bing. There we go. All right. It's actually kind of a semi-serious story. So from investmentwatchblog.com, says Planned Parenthood paid for prostitutes for staff, donors, and guests who attended official functions. This guy, Pray Medic, put this up on Twitter. It says the British sexual health charity IPPF provided prostheses for staff. So this is part of Planned Parenthood's worldwide campaign to offer birth control. The major British charity handed huge sums in foreign aid by the government is alleged to have overseen the hiring of prostitutes for staff, donors, and guests attending official functions. International Planned Parenthood Federation, IPPF, the world's biggest sexual health charity, is also accused of offering young volunteers to adults at events in Africa. The bombshell claims were made in an internal email circulated in December and repeated in court papers filed earlier this year in Kenya by the charity's former Africa regional director. The revelation comes after as IPPF, which employs 30,000 staff, is backed by $132 million of British aid, is embroiled in a crisis threatening its future. This shit always happens in Africa. Top staff have quit and dozens of national associations have broken away, while governance concerns have sparked threats from an international donor to stop funding. The furor follows a series of abuse scandals involving leading aid charities such as Oxfam, Save the Children, and World Vision, which have also seen allegations of the use of prostitutes, harassment, and trading of aid for sex in relief zones. Okay. Whistleblowers raised fears over expenses, fiddling faked invoices, and £1 million land purchase in Nairobi. There are also claims that Kwaku sent a witch porn video featuring a snake and a naked woman to a senior female colleague to intimidate her. Holy, this is Lucien Kwaku, the regional director. Witch porn. And there's a whole subgenre. Witch porn. How about that? A witch porn video featuring a snake and a naked woman. We're living in strange times. We are living. See, the old days, right? The old days, you might send a box with a dead rat to somebody. Oh, you dirty rat, right? Now, you get witch porn, which is kind of a combination of voodoo and porn, apparently. That's going to intimidate. We live in a really unhinged world. But at the very least, it's comical. Now Kwaku has been kicked out as well as seeking compensation, has made explosive claims that the family planning charity offered sexual gifts to guests at African events for several years. Looks like Trump. Okay, so there's diversion of funds here. There's a whole thing on Trump, but the whole thing is just utterly bizarre. But it's not just limited to Planned Parenthood. They're using these funds, this money, to curry favor with people, and probably also to scandalize them. Especially when you get into stuff like Oxfam and World Vision and Feed the Children. Those are all organizations that supposedly have really upright and moral citizenry. And if you get them, on video or have some kind of record, even still photographs of them, banging somebody else or whatever's happening, they become extremely malleable, and the money just keeps flowing. So I would not be surprised if there's also extortion involved in this, because that's behind a lot of the sex stuff is the extortion racket as well, especially for people who supposedly have a high moral standard, right? But it's another version of this kind of weird, strange kind of love thing. What are people really trying to find in a situation like that? What are they after? Are they after intimacy? Are they after a slam banging orgasm that rocks their cellular memory and helps them forget who they are for a while? Is it about humiliation? Is it about danger? Is it about programming their own demise? I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that go into stuff like that, and especially at that level. And governments have been involved in extortion and using sex to extort people for a very long time. It still happens. J. Edgar Hoover, of course, being the most famous as being a cross-dresser and being extorted by the mafia and allowing the mafia to pretty much do as it pleased in the 20th century, since they had the goods on J. Edgar Hoover. And that's the issue around this stuff, is the extortion component that's involved with it. Nobody's going to extort Pete Buttigieg. No, there's no extortion there. It's all out in the open. Speaking of which, the Democrats seem to be, again, kind of, can you believe, like 23 people all running for president on the Democrat side? Bernie Sanders' numbers are dropping a little. By the way, Bernie Sanders' highest demographic is it's young males that are not college educated. That's Bernie Sanders' biggest demographic. Joe Biden's biggest demographic are people over 45. They tend to be college-educated males over 45. Those are the people that tend to support Joe Biden. Bernie trends lower, but Bernie is still behind Joe. They're just all going to cannibalize each other. It's going to be great to watch. I can't wait. Hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get to have this whole process play out. Hopefully we get to see the debates, because it's going to be nuts. It's going to be totally nuts. And they won't have all 23. They may have 10. They'll have the top 10 or maybe the top 8. And the rest will be off on some other stage somewhere else, basically hammer and sickling each other to death to see who can be the most socialist. The one guy who spoke out against socialism, John Hickenlooper, got booed in San Francisco at the Democratic Convention. I think Jasper should run for president today. Not today, but would you vote for Jasper? You think he could beat Yoshi over on Lift the Veil? I think so. Jasper has more charisma than Yoshi does. He seems like a nice cat, but Jasper's got more charisma. Yeah. So, anyway, strange times, strange love. I guess you find it where you can get it. And hopefully I provided you with a little bit of comic relief today, while at the same time kind of giving you a small sample size about how weird things are getting. Camille Paglia, who I actually respect a lot, one of her, I think, probably more enduring insights, and she's had quite a few enduring insights, is that when society gets to a point where transsexualism, transvestism, cross-dressing, and essentially the fomentation of this strange or alternative universe of sex preference, when it becomes closer to the mainstream in any culture or any society, that culture winds up collapsing and falling. So, if anything, these events represent kind of a canary in the coal mine moment that is a presage over where we're headed, and maybe the end of this cycle in time, this kind of cultural incarnation that's reached its zenith, it's reached its peak, and I think it probably has. And there's no shame in looking at it, admitting it, because the game is not over. The game is just getting started. The game is just happening. It's just getting off the ground in a lot of ways, because people are kind of reassembling their molecular structure after about 45 years of trauma and displacement. Meanwhile, what they want to do is they want to continue to commercialize and capitalize on trauma. So what we have is we have groups that are traumatized and triggered, and so you've got a bunch of people running around trauma triggered, and they want to keep the trauma happening. They want to keep the trauma at a high level. What we're doing is we're moving away from it. We're reclaiming our coherence and our clarity, as John Trudell once said many years ago. So don't be stressed out. Don't be afraid. If this if this act is ending, if this part of the movie is coming to a close, and the credits are going to start to roll, there's going to be a new movie, and it could be a really interesting movie. And all you've got to do is take care of yourself. You just have to take care of yourself. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, take care that you have a good sense of humor, continue to learn things, grow things, connect with people, try to stay open, try to stay fluid as much as you can, try to stay limber, try to stay loose, and get through the times. And it may not be easy, but man, what an interesting place to be. What an interesting time to be in this world. That's my 2 cents. So hang in there. Don't give up. It's not a time to give up. And it's a time to connect and meet other people and share ideas, because it's happening. The alarm clock is going off in all of us. The cosmic alarm clock is ringing. Don't hit snooze. Don't go back to sleep. Isn't that what Rumi said? Right, Jasper? We don't want to go back to sleep. Look at that face. Look at that face. Jasper for president. Look at that dignity. This cat's got dignity. Look at him. Not many teeth, but he's got dignity. All right, let me check in with you guys, see where you're at. What's going on over in Chatlandia? Let's see. Refusal to lose one's sense of humor is crucial in this madness. Of course, destruction of the family, male, family. Of course, I want to do that. Yes, Jasper, you've got 2 votes already. Witch porn, right? Isn't that crazy? Witch porn. I think it's hilarious, man. Witch porn. I wonder where that is rated. I'm sure they've got like porn popularity ratings. I wonder where that's in relation to dwarf porn. Which one's getting more pull at this time? Is it witch porn or dwarf porn? Let me go over to the other side of things. Jasper's going to destroy the set. Let's see what's going on over on the 15-minute side. Let's see. Oh, good morning, says Jasper. Seeing the world we're living in as comical is probably it's absolutely nuts, man. Absolutely nuts, and it's okay. A little nuts is good. All right. Hey, listen, I'm out of here. Use your head to discern what's real, your heart to stay open to what's possible. I'm Robert Phoenix. I'll continue to work on the signal here in this part of the world. Hi, Jenny. And that's about it. That is about it for today's show. I love you all. You're great. You're a fantastic morning crowd to hang out with. Wouldn't trade it for the world. And tomorrow we're going to shoot for that all-important 8 a.m. time. 8's the magic number. As above, so below. You've been participating, not listening, not watching, but you've been participating with 15 Minutes of Flame. I'm Robert Phoenix, and I'll see you guys